Good morning, I'm Kofi Mensah and this is chale.news. It's July 5th and we've got a lot to get through. A former state CEO arrested at the airport after allegedly raiding a frozen account, a massive fire still burning at a Melcom warehouse in Tema. And the World Cup is done for Ghana, but the conversation is just starting. The NAFCO criminal trial just took a dramatic turn. Former CEO Hanan Abdul-Wahab Aludiba was arrested at Kotoka International Airport Saturday night, allegedly after trying to empty a court-frozen bank account just days before attempting to fly to the UK. He had High Court permission to travel. Investigators moved anyway. The Attorney General goes back to court Monday. Full breakdown on chale.news. Saturday evening, a massive fire broke out at the Melcom warehouse inside the Tema Free Zones enclave. More than 10 fire appliances were deployed from stations across the entire Tema region. As of this morning, firefighters are still working to contain it. No casualties confirmed, but this one is still active. Kennedy Agyapong's new base movement held a procession in Kumasi on Friday. Hundreds showed up, but some young participants stripped off their branded t-shirts at the entrance to their homes, saying their mothers would refuse to feed them for wearing one inside. That image tells you everything about the social risks this movement is up against, even in NPP heartland. The June floods aren't just a housing crisis anymore. Ghana's Paediatric Society president is now calling it a child health emergency. Flooding and cold weather are driving up cases of pneumonia, diarrhea and malaria. Children under 5 are most at risk. Parents, please read the full warning on chale.news. The June 29th floods hit the National Peace Council so hard the institution is now operationally paralysed. Furniture, electronics, key documents, all destroyed. Executive Secretary Dr. Georgia Moore is appealing for emergency support. Let that sink in. The body meant to manage national dialogue can't currently function. A bridge on the Kumasi highway collapsed 2 months ago, still not fixed. What used to be a 2-hour drive is now 5 hours through Techiman and Ajura, and fares have gone up to match. Traders and drivers in Bono East are begging the government to act. Ghana's GoldBod policy, requiring miners to sell 30% of output to the state, is bold on paper. But financial expert Dr. Daniel Osabuti says, without serious governance reform, weak institutions could sink it before it delivers a CD of benefit. The idea is sound. The execution is the question. Over 300 Ada West farmers have been waiting nearly a year for compensation after Italian agribusiness BF Ghana took their land. The company says the Lands Commission valuation isn't final yet and has offered a 50% advance in the meantime. Questions remain. MoMo vendor in Lashibi shot and killed one of 2 armed robbers who raided him on July 4th and recovered 140,000 Ghanaian cedis. The second suspect's status is still unconfirmed. Mobile money operators keep being targeted. At some point, that conversation has to go beyond condolences. Quick but important. The DVLA is warning vehicle owners about fake SMS messages, directing them to counterfeit websites to pay fines that don't exist. Some threaten sanctions, some offer discounts. The DVLA only collects payments through ghana.gov.gh. Don't click, don't pay. Report it. Pay. Some good news. Ghana has won the hosting rights for the 71st UN Tourism Commission for Africa Summit in 2027. Tourism Minister Abdul-Wahab secured the bid in Seychelles. It brings African ministers, investors and policymakers to Accra and lands right on our 71st independence anniversary. Timing doesn't get better than that. A parliamentary committee member is raising the alarm that university distance education fees have priced out the very working adults these programs are meant to serve. This follows the useless courses controversy from earlier in the week. The education debate is getting louder. Kevin Prince Boateng didn't hold back. The Black Stars' 2026 World Cup failure, he says, was a spirit problem, not tactics. He warned about it before the tournament started, compared this squad unfavourably to 2010, and pointed to Cabo Verde as proof that unity beats talent every time. Hard words, hard to argue with. Meanwhile, at the tournament, Morocco are into the quarter-finals after a 3-0 demolition of co-host Canada. First African nation to reach the last 8 at 2 separate World Cups. Unahi with 2 goals, Brahim Diaz setting up the party. Next up, France. Africa still has a horse in this race. And then there's Caleb Yirenkyi, 20 years old, scored Ghana's only World Cup goal and went straight to Facebook after the final whistle to say sorry. Fans didn't pile on. They poured in with support instead. A small moment, but the right note to end on. So that's your July 5th morning digest. Full reporting on every story is waiting at chale.news. Check in with us throughout the day as things develop. Stay informed, Chale.